Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with yet another live stream coming to you today from the Madrid community, 7:35 p.m. Here today we will go through some of the stories that have caught my attention today in the press, some of the comments that have been left on videos recently, and we'll also dive into the chat section to see what's happening there. Because as we know, that's part of the live streams, the interaction in that chat community between viewers, and lots of regular viewers and activity there already. Let's have a look. Alan coming in from El Puerto de Santa Maria. Gino coming in from Toronto. Winter storm battering Toronto at the moment, says Gino. Ross coming in from a freezing Albany, New York. Bill coming in from a cold and frosty UK. I'm getting the impression that there's lots of places cold and frosty at the moment. Not too bad here in Madrid today. Rained a little bit, but the temperature okay. Can't complain. Michelle coming in from a sunny, rainy, cold Vigo. All of those three there. Typical city where you get 4 seasons in one day sometimes. Alan also saying that El Puerto is very wet at the moment. And Brian coming in from La Marina, and Elaine coming in from Chatham, New Jersey, also snow and rain there. So a very cold North America, very cold rest of Europe at the moment. But as I said, here in the Madrid community, not too bad, a little bit wet, but apart from that, we can't complain, as I said. Now, we'll get straight into the news, because some good news for people that were looking to travel to Spain over the Christmas period, and it is that the strike, the airport strike over the Christmas holidays, has been called off. The CCOO union, which is the Comisiones Obreras union, has called off the strike plan for the Christmas holidays at Spanish airports, to which more than 10,000 workers of the Aena business group were called. The union explained that after holding a meeting with the airport managers' management, it was informed of the decision to pay them the productivity bonus. The union stresses that the pressure exerted has forced a meeting between the Ministers of Transport, Raquel Sanchez, and Finance Minister Maria Jesus Montero, on the 13th to unblock the conflict. Undoubtedly, the pressure, effort, work, and maximum responsibility exercised by CCOO and a strike call carried out alone has given the expected result, explained the CCOO. So, most important thing that we can take out of that is that the airport strike luckily called off, which was going to create havoc at Spanish airports, because as we can see here, 10,000 workers of the Aena Group. The Aena Group is the group that controls all of the state-owned airports in this country. For example, Madrid Barajas, or it's got a new name now, can't remember what it is. Let me think if I can remember the name of the airport here in Madrid. Adolfo Suarez, I think it's the new name. Prat, Mallorca, Malaga Airport, all of the airports around the country controlled by the Aena Group, and they were threatening strike action. And the government was worried, but obviously the managers of the airport sat down and came up with the productivity bonus for those workers. So that's all they wanted, a little bit of extra money instead of creating havoc at Christmas time, because they called the strike for the 22nd, the 23rd, also the 30th, the 31st of December as well, and also the 6th or the 5th of January and the 8th of January, when people come back from that from those Christmas holidays. So luckily the strike called off, and people can get back to normal with their Christmas plans, except, of course, if one of the airlines that's also planning a strike for that period of time doesn't call their strike off. I think Air Nostrum here in Spain is also planning a strike for that Christmas period. So if you're traveling with them, watch out. Now we're up to 19 likes, so the little like icon on the screen here, if you haven't hit it yet, please do so. The little me gusta like button there just below the video, and we'll see if we can get that like tally up to around 50 by the time we come back from the next piece of news. Now let's have a look in the chat section again. Ezra, hi Stu, you Aussie legend. Thanks Ezra. Ed Stu coming in also from Barcelona, I believe, if I remember correctly. Felipe coming in from a freezing but sunny Sussex. Wooden Table also coming in with their opinion on what's going on at the moment. Some people like to believe ulterior ideas. So good luck to you. Gloria coming in from sunny and cool Los Angeles there in the States. Athers coming in from Tenerife. And Ed saying that the weather's good in Barcelona today. Good. But as we know, you guys need the rain. Marion coming in from Benidorm. And Pamela coming in from Terreros here in Spain also. So good to see plenty of regular viewers in the chat section being active as they normally are there. Now, second piece of news. Let's get straight into it. This one here, fuel prices. Hot topic this year. Continuing to fall pending the government's decision to extend the subsidy in 2023. Motor fuels continue their downward trend and become cheaper this week. In the case of diesel, its price fell for the 7th consecutive week. On this occasion, it fell by 5.3 cents and sold on average at €1.71 per litre, without applying the rebate approved by the government, which has not yet clarified whether it will extend the measure. Petrol has been falling for the last month in a row. This week it is down 4.6 cents to €1.64 per litre without the 20-cent discount. So with the 20-cent discount, obviously paying around $1.44 for unleaded petrol and $1.51 for diesel. And as we see here, the government still has not announced if it is going to keep that rebate on fuel or not. There's talk that it's only going to be for vulnerable people or people that need it the most. Not sure how they're going to do it, whether there's some type of voucher that's given to people that are in need of a fuel rebate or subsidy. But for the rest of us, perhaps it's going to disappear. It's been in place for, 6-7 months now. I think maybe going back to, when was it? April, maybe May. Not sure exactly when, but it's been around for a while, and plenty of people have taken advantage of it, especially when fuel prices were hitting that €2 mark. But as we can see there, they have come down quite a bit over the last month or so. And I read, I saw a headline in a newspaper the other day saying that we're not far away from €1 petrol prices here in Spain. So maybe we'll get back to that €1 mark again. We will see. But I'm sure this is a trend that is repeated around the world at the moment when it comes to fuel prices. I'm sure Spain is not the only country that is experiencing high fuel prices, or has experienced high fuel prices over the last year or so. Now back into the chat, Julian coming in here also, trying to keep warm from the Midlands there in the UK. Has been cold in the United Kingdom, I have seen. Joe coming in as well, Joe the Bombero. Grant coming in from El Cielo, asking a question. Is anyone here from the UK on disability from the UK who got a TIE visa using your UK insurance? Grant asking a question. So if anybody's in that situation, please let him know. What else we got going on here? Quickly, Andrew also coming in from the UK. Daryl, City fan, coming in from Catalonia. And Alan also coming in from a freezing Staffordshire there in the United Kingdom. Very cheap flights on offer. Under 20 quid to the Canary Islands in January. There we go, Alan. Maybe you need to take them up on that cheap offer. Under £20 for a flight to, where was it, did you say there? To the Canary Islands. Not sure whether it's Las Palmas or Tenerife. Maybe one of those two. Jeffrey coming in from Casas de Benitez, Cuenca, where the weather is mild. Yeah, typical for this time of year, Jeffrey. The mild weather, of course, as you guys there in Cuenca know, can be one of the coldest parts of the country, Cuenca, especially Cuenca City. The times that I've been there, it has been quite cold. Not sure in Casas de Benitez. Kirk also coming in from southwest Florida. And Alex coming in from Mijas down there on the Costa del Sol. Third piece of news. Let's have a look at this one. Renfe, the train operator here in Spain, is warning 75,000 users of subsidised season tickets for irregular use. Possible withdrawal and forfeiture of the security deposit, they say. Renfe started on Wednesday to warn €75,000 of 50% discount travel cards of irregular use, with reservations that are not taken, which can lead to the forfeiture of the deposit and the cancellation of the travel card. The misuse of free tickets is limited, says Renfe, to 3% of the more than 2.3 million tickets purchased since last September, when the 50% bonus for medium-distance journeys and 100% for local journeys approved by the government to partially compensate for the rise in inflation came into force. The measure has been extended to 2023. So this measure has been extended through 2023. The fuel rebate we don't know yet, but 75,000 people here, as we can see here, using their season tickets irregularly, and plenty of empty trains going around Spain as a result. And Renfe warning these people that they're probably going to get some type of penalty here. Their security deposit will not be going back to them. Probably don't really care because it was only around 20 euros, I think, so people most likely don't care. But I'm not sure why people are booking these tickets and not travelling. I'm not sure what the reason is behind this behaviour. But Renfe not happy because it means that other people are most likely missing out on those trains because their travelling is full and they are not. So Renfe starting to crack down on the people that are not who are booking tickets but not using them. So we'll see how that one ends up. Now I'm going to change the backdrop. Viewer pick. We'll put this one up here from Valerie, Cartagena down there in Murcia. And a nice picture of the harbour down there. Cartagena, I think the biggest city in Murcia, or maybe the second biggest. Not sure whether Murcia city is bigger or not, but Cartagena, of course, on the coast, and a very popular destination for tourists and people to live who are looking to escape colder winter temperatures in the north of Europe. So thanks, Valerie, for that. Now, I'll put the email address up here now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. If you've got a picture that you've taken here in Spain, whether it be a coastal shot like this one, or a shot of the mountains, a shot of a nice village, maybe some Christmas lights, you can send it into this email address above, spainspeaks@gmail.com, and I will get around to putting it up in the background. And the like button is on the screen again. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so just below the video, and we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today. We'll see. We will see. Now, let's get into the fourth piece of news today. A strange story. A restaurant in Almeria will have to refund the €7 it charged customers for bread. The 11th Court of First Instance of Valladolid has condemned a restaurant in Almeria for charging customers for bread without the price appearing on the menu. In the judgment, it establishes that the establishment, El Homenaje Bar and Grill, must return to the plaintiff the €7 that it charged him, plus the legal interest from the date on which he filed the lawsuit. It so happens that one of those affected is a lawyer from the legal team of the Facua Castilla y León, Pablo Gerboles. Together with 6 friends, he went to eat in August 2021 at El Homenaje Bar and Grill, owned by the company Restauración Galivan Ruiz, located in the Plaza Vicaria Andrés Pérez Molina in the capital of Almeria. In addition, in the online menu that they consulted via a QR code, it did not appear anywhere that each customer was charged €1 per portion of bread. What's more, to this day, it is still not reflected in the menu of this Almeria establishment that you have to pay for bread. Pablo and the rest of the diners paid €236.20 for the meal, including these €7. On his return to Valladolid, he started the complaint procedure against the restaurant through Facua Castilla y León. Now, Facua it's a consumer body here in Spain. It's a consumer watchdog, and you can send complaints like this one to them if you get ripped off at a restaurant here in Spain, even if it's for €7 like this one here, where people were charged for bread and it's not in the menu. And this is something that's crept into Spanish restaurants over, I'm not sure when it crept in, but I remember you would go to a restaurant when I first came to Spain at least, and a basket of bread would be put down on the table and there would be no charge for the bread. But then they started to charge for not only bread but service as well. Sometimes if you go to a restaurant, there's a that they charge you for the cubierto, maybe €1.50 or €2 for each diner. So that can add up on the bill. And also bread, which, as I said, is something that charging for bread, restaurants charging for bread, is something that has crept in and is almost common practice in the majority of restaurants. But this one here didn't have it on the menu. It wasn't clearly stated, and that's the key of why the court ruled in favour of the plaintiff, as we saw there, and not in favour of the restaurant, because even to this day, apparently, if you go to that restaurant website, the price of bread is not included. So if they put it down on the table, which they normally do, you can tell them to take it away. Sorry, we don't want any bread, take that away. But if they put it down on the table, they're going to charge you for it whether you eat it or not. And this guy, obviously surprised by getting charged each €1 for bread, €7 in total, 7 people dining. When he got back to Bay Olif, started the complaint and got his €7 plus interest given back to him. And as I mentioned a minute ago, the restaurant still hasn't corrected its menu. So this is a practice that's probably been going on for years at that restaurant, and this is the first person that has pulled them up on it. So that's how it works here in Spain. And remember that if you ever go into an establishment here in Spain, any type of business, and you're not happy with the service that you get, or you think that you have been overcharged, or you think that something is not correct with the service that you have received, you've got a complaints book that you can fill out. There's always a sign on the wall in the establishment that you can fill out, and or you can go directly to this FACWA organisation. But as we saw there, that guy was a lawyer working for that organisation, so probably he knew the exact procedures. A lot of people would just let this go by. I've probably done it 100 times, just let it go by, not even checking the menu to see whether bread is included or not. But this guy going out of his way to get that €7 plus interest back. So there we go. Strange story. Now, let's get into the chat section. Richard coming in from San Javier. Hello, Richard. Elaine, gas prices falling in the States too. Yes, I thought that would be the case. What else we got going on? Wooden Table still going on about his theory there. Reika coming in. Nico coming in as well. Delta del Ebro. Warm, 12 to 18 degrees Celsius there today. Fantastic. Martin coming in. Marion coming in. Hotel in Benidorm. €30 full board. Wine and water per day. What a bargain. And what a way to save on fuel bills. Absolutely, Marion. Take them up on that offer. €30 per day full board. Cheap as chips, as they say. Lorenzo, Spain Cat, coming in from London. Another cold day there today, 6 below. Snow has turned into ice. Yeah, problem when that happens, Lorenzo. I have experienced that a couple of times here. When it snowed, it turns to ice and it becomes a real hazard. What else we got going on here? Ruta coming in from Barcelona. Hello. Igor coming in. Tireless Stuart. Yeah, I'm a bit tired, but you're right. Tireless putting these videos out. Torrevieja, brown trout fisherman, I should say. Jose Antonio coming in from the Royal City. Stephen coming in from North Wales. Good to see Stephen again. Alinda coming in also. Got a comment of yours coming up soon, Alinda, so stay tuned for that. Shangan coming in from Ballarat, the regular Victorian viewer, Ian. And Andrew, Super Chat. Thank you very much, Andrew. I'll put this one on the screen here. £20. Another great video, Stuart. Thanks for the continued updates and information. More than welcome, Andrew, and thank you very much for your generosity at this time of the year. Killian also coming in from Dublin. Believe the rain dances down in Malaga have worked, as it's been rain the last few days, which seems to be keeping the locals happy. Yes, Malaga needs the water desperately, especially the Arcachia region there, just behind the eastern side of Malaga. Very, very dry. But I imagine it's a widespread problem in the Malaga province is rain. But let's see if we get those dams filled up down there. Now, word of the day. Let's have a look. This one here. Olvido. Oblivion. Example. Muchos políticos caen en el olvido cuando dejan el cargo. Many politicians fall into oblivion when they leave office. Yes, that is true, and thank heavens for that, because some politicians, you want to see the back of them as quickly as possible. Normally here in Spain, they disappear from the local scene and they work their way up into the European Union. You often see a lot of local politicians sitting in the European Union chamber. That's where they go to hide after they've done their service here. Don't know what they do up in the European Union, to be honest. I've never worked out European politics other than put a series of legislation in place for all of the countries to adhere to. But European politicians, as I said, normally failed local politicians that go to Europe to continue with their careers out of the public eye, let's say, except when there's a scandal like which is going on at the moment, and people get put in prison for alleged corruption. But generally, the politicians that lose their seats in the Congress here end up somewhere in the European Parliament or in the revolving door situation working for a big company. That's normally where they end up, or in a think tank somewhere. But as we see here, olvido, oblivion, they fall into it. Olvido is also a name. I think Maria del Olvido is a name here. I've seen a couple of women that are called Olvido. A famous singer here in Spain called Alaska. Her name is Maria Olvido. So there we go. That's her name, Olvido. Maria Oblivion. So strange name, but it is a name that some people have been given, Olvido. And as I said, that singer, Alaska, if you are familiar with her music. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here. Killian also talking about bread on the Costa del Sol. They're very sneaky with it down there. They put it on your plate without asking. That's exactly what I said, Killian, exactly. They put it on the table and you get charged for it whether you eat it or not. But the best thing is to say you don't want it. Just get them to take it away. And I don't think they can charge you for it if they take it away. All right, what else we got going on here? The great bread debate. Jose Antonio saying that they'll put bread on the table even if you've ordered pizza. I think he said in Portugal too, but in Portugal I'm not sure if they charge you for bread yet. At least some places still will give you bread for free in Portugal, I think. But again, don't quote me on that. I can't remember the last time I was there whether we were charged for bread or not. Debbie coming in from Niceville, Florida. Leeds Bradford coming in from a frosty Leeds. Brahms telling people to let the ads play through helps the channel. There we go. That's a comment there. Vicky coming in from a rainy New Zealand. Had a few Kiwi viewers recently. Vicky coming in for the big time difference, of course. Probably 7 o'clock down there in New Zealand. Neil also coming in with an honest concern. Let's have a look at this one. Are Spanish public and general society waking up to COVID now? Mask, con, etc. now? Surely they must be waking up. All the truth is coming out. They sure are here in FR. Not sure where that is. Yeah, Neil, COVID doesn't exist it exists because people still test positive to COVID, but except for when you catch a bus or go into a hospital, you don't have to wear a mask. I wouldn't call it a convid or a convid, as you say there. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But I think history will prove that it was a serious problem that we dealt with at the time. Maybe we didn't deal with it in the best way. Maybe governments didn't deal with it as well as they could have. But it did take people by surprise. And we've got through it now. So let's get over the topic, right? What else we got going on here? Eric coming in from Norway. John the Travelling Wino also coming in. Ronnie coming in as well. Simon coming in. Lots of regular viewers coming in today, which is good to see. Now, I'm going to change the backdrop. Let's put another one up on the backdrop here, which was sent in from Alan, who's also in the chat section. Alan down there in El Puerto de Santa Maria. And a street view here. Some Christmas lights. Taken with a mobile phone, I imagine. So thanks for sending that one in, Alan. So like I said, if you've got a backdrop picture that you would like to see, please send them in. The email address will go up here now. Let me see if I can find it. spainspeaks@gmail.com. I'll just move it down a touch. There we go, so we can see it, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And I'll put the little like icon on the screen as well to see if we can get up to a decent like tally today. Let's see. All right, good. What else we got going on here in the chat section? Quickly here. Oh, Jose Antonio remembers his first girlfriend, whose name was Olvido, Oblivion. They were 12 years old. Still remembers it well. First kiss, I imagine, Jose Antonio. There we go. Thank you very much for that. So as I said, it is a name that some women in Spanish-speaking countries will have, Maria Olvido, Maria Oblivion. Now, the first comment from Martin. Hola Stuart, muchas gracias por el video. Fair play to Spain. Economy looking good. Maybe one day the banks will start paying interest on bank accounts. Ah, yes. A lot of people wondering when banks will start paying interest again on your deposits. Hasn't been there for a while, considering that interest rates have been very low. But I did read the other day that I think some banks here in Spain are starting to pay around 3%, I think, on deposits, and trying to get people to put their money in those banks by offering a 3% interest rate on that money. Not sure if it's widespread with banks here or whether it was just one or two that have this type of promotion at the moment, but I imagine that with interest rates going up, banks will go back to the practice that, as I said, we haven't seen for a while, of paying people interest on the money that they have with the bank. So I don't think the banks have forgotten about it, but considering they have been very low for a decade almost, now that they're going up again, I'm sure that people will get some interest rates from the banks. I think that's how the system works. So thanks, Martin, for the comment there. Travel adventures with John and Maria are also coming in. El Campello arrived this evening in a white convertible. There we go. So back in El Campello down there in Alicante, I think. What else we got going on here? Macron's office raided. He's got a lot of people with a lot of ideas in the chat section today. I might have to do a cull. What else we got going on here? John Travelling Wino went to Plymouth. Swear they charge £6 per portion with butter. Crazy. I ate it thinking it was complimentary, and was about to ask the waiter for more. There we go. So it's common practice in restaurants around the world, obviously trying to add a little bit extra onto people's bills by charging the bread. But as we saw earlier, if you complain, if it's not specifically written down in the menu, then you can get your money back or refuse to pay directly. Just say that it's not included. You didn't see it on the menu. Don't pay. All right, good. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Okay, Andrew. Yeah, anyone really bothered about €7 on a bill over 200? I bet they ate the bread. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit stingy of the guy to get those €7 back, but he obviously took that path and got the €7 plus interest back, as we know. So, but I partly agree with you there, Andrew, that why would anybody be bothered to do it? That's it. Obviously, he has plenty of time on his hands. All right, good. Ed, Alaska. Alaska is an amazing singer and entertainer, married to Mario Bacarizo, another great Spanish singer. I wouldn't call Mario Bacarizo a great singer. I don't think he can sing, to be honest. He's famous for playback. He's in a group, and basically they just put a record on in the background and they mime. I think his group is famous for that. But when it comes to singing, I don't think he has a singing voice. He's an artist, a showman, if you like. And he is, of course, married to Alaska. And they had a reality program a few years ago called Mario and Alaska, which was on MTV. So if anybody's interested in the life of Alaska and Mario Bacarizo, you can check that out. But again, I don't think he's a good singer, Mario Bacarizo, but I stand to be corrected. Now, let's have a look at the next comment here from Melinda, who's also in the chat section, as we saw. Love the new camera, Stu. Great job. One wouldn't dream of parking caravans away from their homes in the United States for fear of having them broken into. Yeah. The eternal caravan debate. People ask me every time I drive down that street or walk down that street about the caravans that are parked there. And basically it's because here in Spain, a lot of people, of course, as we know, live in apartments and there's nowhere to park your caravan in your parking space under the apartment normally. So they have these dedicated areas all over the country where people can park caravans. Sometimes they're in a big parking lot, or here they've made it along the side of the road. People don't live in the caravans. Somebody asked that as well. They're just there as a place to leave them, and it gets them out of the residential areas as well if they're all in the same spot. And when the holiday period comes around, for example now, before Easter, before summer, you'll see people getting the caravans ready for their trips. A lot of people went crazy during COVID and bought caravans, bought motorhomes, thinking that it was going to be the way forward when it comes to having a holiday. And a lot of the caravans there, obviously, they're not used as regularly as people thought they were going to be using them, because people have gone back to their old habits when it comes to traveling. But the true caravan enthusiasts, no doubt, take their caravan whenever they can. I've got a mate here in Madrid who's a caravan enthusiast. If he's watching tonight, he knows who he is. And whenever he gets the opportunity, takes the family off to the caravan or goes traveling with the caravan around Spain. Loves caravanning. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. And the ones that we see up there, a lot of them are fairly old. There's no modern caravans, I don't think. And as I said, a lot of people during COVID bought caravans and probably looking to sell them off now. I would say people that are not true caravan enthusiasts like my friend. All right, what else we got going on here? Let's see if we can get some decent chats here. Life in the slow lane. Any news on the driver's licenses? Haven't heard anything. Life in the slow lane. You will continue in the slow lane here, unfortunately, until the government comes to... Well, I think they've come to an agreement, but they're just going through the bureaucratic stages now of getting everything stamped and all of the everything ticked off. I think that's what they're doing. December's a terrible month. I've mentioned it before. Nothing gets done in December. Nothing will be done until after the 6th of January. It's when people go back to the office. Then it'll take them another couple of weeks to get back into work mode. So probably the 1st of February we'll see an update on this. But I haven't heard anything apart from the agreement has been reached, but they're just going through the formalities at the moment, I think. But if anybody knows anything else, please let Life in the Slow Lane know about that. All right, Alaska is Mexican. Yes, that is true. But I think she's lived here most of her life. She speaks Spanish with a Spanish accent, not with a Mexican accent. And I think her mother was a Spanish person that emigrated, or maybe her family emigrated to Mexico, and Olvido was born there, or Alaska was born there, but I think lived here the majority of her life and was very famous back in the 80s when Spain was going through that Movida period, or the Movida Madrileña. I think she was quite prominent back then and still continues today, putting out records, I think, or putting out music, I should say. Felipe, is Alaska Fangoria? That is the one. Yes, that's the group she was in. I've always said that Alaska, the music that she does with her partner, can't remember his name, but it's sort of like the Spanish equivalent of the Pet Shop Boys. So they even, the music even sounds the same. So that's my take on Alaska's music, the Spanish version of Pet Shop Boys. All right, good. Back into the comments here. We saw that one from Melinda. Let's have a look at this next one here from Frank. I'm not surprised workers are striking over the last decade or so, basically since the 2008 financial crash. Billionaires and the elite have made more money while the average worker has seen a real term pay cut, and now inflation is higher than it was. Good luck to all strikers. Tax the mega rich. I can't really disagree with this comment from Frank, because we see it regularly that the rich get richer and richer. In fact, they reach heights that I don't think's ever been seen before. People like Elon Musk with billions and billions of euros. He's got so much money that he can just throw 44 billion at Twitter, and it doesn't even make a dent in his bank account, basically. And the other super rich people that are rolling around with absolutely huge fortunes. 100 years ago there were rich people, but nowadays there seems to be more multi-billionaires than ever. And nowadays all of these governments, the inflation that we've had, all of the money that's been printed, it all seems to end up in the same people's pockets, basically. So can't disagree with that. And workers have had a hard time for the last 10 years or so, stagnating wages and things like that. So, good luck to people going on strike. I hope they get their increases or what they're striking for, but let's hope they don't disrupt our lives too much to get those things done. And as we saw with the airport strike before, it's been called off. So the airport workers happy with their pay increase or their extra payment or whatever they were striving for. All right, good. Ed's saying, why shouldn't a restaurant charge for bread? After all, it's business. Yeah, there's no problem with charging for bread in a restaurant. The problem is when they just put it down on your table without asking for it and then slapping it onto the bill. That's a bit rude, in my opinion. If you go into a restaurant and you order bread and you expect to pay for it, no problem. But when they come and just put it down on the table as the first thing that you do, first thing that they do, then I don't think you should be charged for that bread. And a lot of people do think that it's complimentary. Portugal, a lot of people, when they travel to Portugal for the first time, the waiters come and they put a little plate of things down on the table, pâtés, cheeses maybe, olives, and a lot of people tuck into them thinking that they're free, but they're not free. And of course, you get into a bit of a disagreement with the waiter at the end of the meal, saying that we didn't order this. Why was it on the table? It's a Portuguese tradition to put this down on the table. Well, maybe here in Spain they should make it clear that it's a tradition to put bread down on the table and they're going to charge you for it, or put it down on the menu. Supplement for bread, €1. And if you don't want the bread, get them to take it back, as I said before. I think that can be done. All right, good. Philippe saying, Ni tu ni nadie looks like a homage to the Pet Shop Boys. As I said, I think the Alaska and her partner, the music that they make, is a rip-off of the Pet Shop Boys, I think. I think the Pet Shop Boys were around before Alaska. I could be wrong, but I think they're just trying to put a Spanish version of the Pet Shop Boys and trying to emulate the same success at a Spanish level, of course. I think that's what Alaska's claim to fame is. All right, now we're up to 37 minutes. I've been going for a fair while today. I'm going to start to wrap the live stream up. Thank you very much for your participation today. Thank you very much for commenting in the chat section. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to the super chat before. I think it was from Andrew, and I'll just go back and check that. I think it was from Andrew. So yeah, it was. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. I'll be back again with another live stream on Sunday evening. I think the football's on at 4:30, so we should get a clear run at it. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video, hopefully. Another video on Saturday that I'll put out as well. So keep an eye out for those, and I hope everybody stays well. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Adiós.